On a le bord de Bruxelles, elle vient nous adresser ici. Nous sommes des clients. Voilà. Voilà la police de Marseille.
In 2022, I went back to Cameroon to pay a visit to my family. I went along with my two kids. You already know my two girls. So when I went to Cameroon, everything was fine until the day I was coming back to US. That's when everything started going upside down. I would like to share to you my experience from the day I had to take my flight back from Cameroon to US. So day one, I went to the airport. Like, as a normal, you have your family members that will drive you to the airport and wish you goodbye and good luck and everything. And you have to go in the airport, they arrange your stuff and then put in the plane, and you are ready to go. So when I went to the airport, first I should have known that this flight was a very, very bad one. Like, it was not ordinary. This flight, I'm telling you, is not ordinary, because from the story that I'm about to tell you, even you will confirm that this flight was not ordinary, because a lot of things happened to me on the road, or to us on the way from Cameroon to US. On a normal, you will spend like 1 or 2 days to get to US, or 1.5 days to get to US. But I had to spend 4 days on the road from Cameroon to US. Even person where they work out food from Cameroon to US, it will not take up to 4 days. So the story goes like this. I went to the airport with my kids. We have packed our bags, and everybody was there with us. Our family was there, They went to see us off at the airport. So when I got in there, Cameroon and French, and every I'm telling you, Cameroon has a very long way to go when it in regards of this traveling thing. So I went there, presented all my documents, only for them to tell me that my ticket has an issue. Ah, I tried to resolve it. I called my husband, because he didn't come with us. He was here, in US, while I went with my two kids to Cameroon. So I called him like, honey, please check this flight for me. Oh. These people over here that telling me that my flight has an issue, my ticket has an issue. He called and then called me back and said, no, he has called the people and they said the flight is okay, that my ticket is okay. What exactly is the problem? So I went back in the office there and talked to them like, everything is okay. What is happening? But by the time I finished everything up and down, dragging the kids, my flight has already left. That's how I missed my flight on the first day. So, I had to come back home with my family. And uh, God being good, the the people in the airport, those people that help you with your baggages, to pack them and stuff like that. I had one man in there that was really kind enough to hold my luggages for me. So I didn't have to come back with my luggages, since they had already measured everything and then weighed it for me. So he suggested I should keep it there in the airport and then come and pick it up the next day when I'm leaving. So it was a win-win for me, because I didn't have to come and weigh it again the next day or pass through that process. So I left all my luggages over there in the airport, including hand luggage. Oh. That means I do not even have a change of clothes. So this is very important, especially in this story. So you will have to listen to the end and you will see why I'm emphasizing that I did not bring out any bag from the airport on that first day that I was going back home to come the next day, since on that first day it had already failed. Because of the delays trying to resolve my issues, my flight has left already, and that's how I missed my flight that day. So I went back home with my family. The next day, I went back to the airport, normal, to travel again. So this time around, my family had already, they didn't come with me because most of them were from Bamenda and all that. They had to travel back that same evening. So I had to go back to the airport by myself. So I went there with my two kids. Remember, I have my two kids with me. So I went back that day. I knew I'm going to travel. So I went back again. Another issue. The man said my flight ticket coupon has been used. I'm like, which one be flight ticket coupon? I have not heard about that. Oh, I've never heard about that before. Maybe it's something that is real. Is something, but I've not heard about it. I'm like, okay, please explain it further. What do you mean by my coupon has finished on my ticket? Ah, and those French people. By the time you try to tell them, it's like that you are challenging them and they'll keep confusing you the more. So I called my husband back again and said, honey, please, what is really happening with these people? So they called he actually reached to the people here, you know, to the airport agency and was like, what is happening with my ticket? And they asked him, what exactly are they saying? Because on their end, my ticket is fine. So what is happening? So I don't know. Again, I had to miss my flight for that time. That's the second day again. So I missed that flight that second day. I decided, I'm not going back home because it's gonna be somehow to go. I mean, that is the second time. I mean, it's like my village people were really behind me. So I decided that I would rather take a night in the hotel just beside the airport there, so that in the morning I'll get up and then go to the airport and see if I can resolve that issue, because my husband actually called and they had changed the ticket, or they did something and then with the ticket, because at the point they were saying my ticket number they cannot find it. So at the point they called and then they gave him that ticket number and whatever. So my aim of sleeping or spending my night in the hotel close to the airport was to get up early, come and rectify this issue. Because that is the second time I'm missing this flight. Again, I should have sensed that this journey was not ordinary. So if you are still listening to this story and watching this video, keep watching. You will know why I'm emphasizing that this journey was not ordinary. Okay, so the next day, I took my token. Remember, I don't have any bag with me. I have no luggages. So it means that the same clothes that we had on from the one that we had to travel, that is the same clothes that we are still wearing. So we went back to the airport. They tried to rectify everything, and then it finally worked. My issue was resolved. That is another story, because if I want to tell you what the issue was, you will be surprised. It's just to tell you that Cameroon is what it is. Because when I went back there and I met with a different person as the Lord planned, my issue was resolved. Meanwhile, the person I have been meeting before has been giving me that issue. Anyway, that is a story, like I said, for another time. Cameroon is what it is. Okay. So I finally succeeded and we went and boarded our flight to US. So that is where everything started again going upside down for us. So we took our flight and then we were going on the normal. My flight was from Cameroon to Brussels to United States. So I had just those two stops. Okay. So on the way to Brussels, that is the first stop that I had. On the way to Brussels, we got someone in the
Terribly
in the
sick
plane
that
there. we had to do an
sick.
emergency landing. They said he had
He
something
got
like corona. It was during corona period, but he wasn't having corona. He was like cholera. Yes, it was cholera. Um, they had to do an emergency landing for him because he was almost losing his life. And for people back behind the plane, we really didn't know what was happening, but we saw a lot of fidgeting in the plane. How they were asking if there was a nurse in the plane and all that. They needed assistant, anybody that knew something about health. So we did the emergency landing, and we landed somewhere. Um, Somewhere where we landed was not even on a normal place that a plane would land, because because it was an emergency landing. We had to land anywhere that it could be possible. So we ended up landing somewhere in the desert. I've forgotten the name of that African country. If I remember, I'll put it in the comment section. So we landed in that place. It was a desert because I remember turning and looking around, and I saw like a fence, like this farm fence, or when you're this where you are keeping your cows and you make a fence, something like that. I saw around the surroundings was somehow. Okay, we waited for the ambulance to come. Before a plane lands, that probably contacted the ambulance and everything. So we waited. In the plane again, it's a very big plane, and you cannot really know what is happening because everything is being sorted right in front with the pilot and the flight attendants, with everybody that is in front. Me, I was right in the back. So we waited there for about 4 hours. Okay, we waited there for about 4 hours, and then while we waited, nobody is telling us anything. So we kept waiting and waiting, and suddenly they announced, or they made an announcement that we are about to start rolling again. So we left, like we kicked off again in the air, and we were going. Uh-uh. So before you know it again, they start making again an announcement saying that we are out of fuel. That we are out of fuel, we have to do another emergency landing. For the second time, and we have not even arrived to Brussels yet. Oh. So for the second time now, we have to do another emergency landing. This time, we landed in Messus. That is where the we did the emergency landing. That is somewhere in France. So we landed there, and again, and when we landed, we had to stay in the plane for another close to 2 hours without them telling us to go out, or they are putting the foil, or they are doing this. Nothing. They just kept us there, and then people started fidgeting, and started complaining. Kids were crying because it was still. So everybody started panicking, and before we knew, we saw some policemen. I think it's a border patrol or something. You know, police people coming into the plane and searching. Just going around searching. People. That's when people exploit it. Like, what is happening? You cannot just come and start searching what is going on. What is it, because we are black? Is it because you think we are Africans, that you just messed up with our rights? Why are you searching? What are you searching? What is going on? Can the captain come and tell us something? What is going on and everything? Ah, no, nobody is telling us anything. Those people were just searching. They said, oh, well, they're just checking in case some people are in the flight without documents. How is that possible? How would somebody board a plane in the first place without documents? So in fact, everywhere exploited.
On la police dans l'avion. Est-ce que la police a foutu avec Bruxelles Air?
Par contre, et ce que l'on ne connaît pas sur le côté, c'est qui parce qu'apparemment, beaucoup d'entre vous êtes en transit pour partir vers ailleurs. Donc on va prendre le temps qu'il faut pour contrôler, mais vous allez pouvoir rentrer, sortir de la zone à travers D'accord. Donc on reste calme, on trouve une solution qui devrait être rapide. D'accord.
De la sardine. On a fait déjà 16 heures dans cette histoire. Il y en a qui n'ont pas de papier, il y en a qui ont pas. Elle a dit ça. Mais c'est tout, je savais ça, on savait tous. Il n'y a pas d'autre problème. On a embarqué à Douala comment alors? Qu'est-ce qu'on a le droit, disons? Donne-moi quel droit où?
Même bien sûr, c'est le président de c'est la même chose. Voilà, que ce soit ici,
Écoutez, messieurs, dames, je vais vous demander un deuxième fois de rester à vos places, assis le temps qu'on puisse trouver une solution.
Moi, vous devez parler au commandant de l'eau.
Allez, asseyez-vous.
libérez le passage, s'il vous plaît, pour votre Madame, s'il vous plaît. Madame, s'il vous plaît, vous ne mettez pas mon collègue. Merci.
On peur de vous, c'est ça? Hein? Le commandant du bord de Bruxelles, elle vient nous adresser ici. Nous sommes des clients. Madame, pas la police de Marseille. Nous sommes nous.
So, guys, after all this chaos up and down, they finally allowed us to get out of the plane so that they can put the foil. That is like 2 hours, almost getting to 3 hours. To cut a long story short, we finally step out of the plane, and that is when we heard the most alarming stories that happened in the plane while we were s- while we stopped at the first emergency landing, which was with the passenger with cholera. So what we started hearing from people that were sitting in front of the plane and saw and who saw what was happening, what they told us was so shocking and scary. So they explained to us that while we were there waiting for the ambulance to come and get the patient and going through that process, we our plane were hijacked by those rebels where we landed. Like where we landed, like I told you, it was not somewhere like a runway that the plane usually lands. It was in some kind of desert. I believe those rebels they normally stay there. So when we landed, that is when they came and held our plane hostage and demanded for, was it like 30 something $1,000? They demanded for more, but I heard that the the pilots and the crews of the airplane ended up paying them $34,000. So us in the back, we knew nothing that was going on, and it's only by God's grace that they only demanded for that ransom, because on a normal they will even hold all of us, like they will make all of us the passengers to come out of that plane, maybe ramshackle us, steal from us, or beat us or kill some of us or call or keep us hostage in that jungle and start calling our government one and one to another, from one person to another, demanding for a heavy ransom. And if your government does not correspond, they will buy you. So it's by God's grace that all those things happen, and the pilots with the crew, they were trying to sort the matter. That is why we ended up we ended up doing 4 hours. Ah, everybody was surprised, like but is it only to drop this patient that we are taking these 4 hours? We did not know that there was something else that was going through, that was happening. So by the grace of God, they demanded that, and we the crew did not have so much of that amount that they were demanding, but they ended up taking the one that it was available, and that is the main reason why the policemen came into the plane when they did. Okay, so they did not want to explain to us. They did not want to make us panic that this is what has happened, and it's only because of those other people that were in front that we even got to know that our plane was at risk, that our lives was at risk when we stopped in that desert. That is the only way that we knew. If not, we will keep grumbling and grumbling without knowing the main reason. No, they will not like to. They will not tell you. Okay, they don't want to make us panic and start, crying, panicking, and all that. They wanted a calm environment, and their customers always come first, so they have to make a priority to make us stay safe and calm. So they did not tell us. So that's how we got to know about it. Anyway, we finally filled our tank, and we took off for Brussels. When we arrived Brussels, our connecting flight was gone. We wasted a lot of time just from Cameroon to Brussels with 2 stops, with 4 hours wait time between those intervals. So there's no way we could catch up our flight that was going to America. Okay, so that is where we had to sleep. We actually spent the night in Brussels. We had to spend the night in Brussels because there was no connecting flight. So this is us going out of the airport from Brussels. We are going out of Brussels airport so we can hurry and catch the bus that will take us to our hotel room. Brussels!
Brussels.
Brussels!
Brussels.
Come on, Oriana.
Brussels.
C'est Brussels! C'est Brussels! 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 Yes, guys, so we actually arrived at our hotel room, and I was just making a video, getting a tour of the hotel. It was so beautiful. The the ties, the arrangements. You can see I was checking it out. The kids were also checking it out. We were so tired, so tired, and our dresses were dirty. Remember, I did not have any luggage with me, no hand luggage, no dresses that
Won't you
I
follow me
even
back when
put in
you
my
come
handbag.
back?
Nothing. We had no change of clothes. So what I did when I came to the hotel was I we went for dinner at the restaurant session. After that, I came back to the hotel. I took off all the dresses that they had on, and then I washed them. I washed them, and I dried them. Like I really squeezed them out with all those toys that you saw in the bathroom there. I made use of it and squeezed out the dresses. And when I got up in the morning before breakfast, I will I ironed them so it will get dry. So this is us eating our dinner and
Mommy, I eat
while
salad.
resting as well because it has been a tedious day.
It's
So we were
cracked.
just eating and then getting our
Eat
mind
Oriana.
ready for the journey ahead of us.
Mom, look at eating.
Say hello, Daddy.
Hello, Daddy.
I like my food.
Good.
You like your food?
Yes, guys, you can all tell by the way she was eating that she's not really like the food. Okay, I don't know why, but I actually ended up eating all that food because they did not eat it. The pasta was so delicious. Maybe they were just tired. Oh, guys, this is what I ordered. This salad is heaven and earth. In fact, I've been looking for this particular salad. So, guys, the next morning we were back at the airport and we are actually waiting to board the plane. And this is when they told us that our um our route had been deteriorated. That means that we're supposed now to go and land in Frankfurt. So we're supposed to go and take a plane now from Frankfurt before going to US. So we are not supposed to leave directly from Brussels to US again. So this is us, boarding our plane that will take us to Frankfurt. Frankfurt is in Germany. So, guys, this is us in the air going on smoothly. You can see the sky was so bright outside, and everything was going on perfectly. So, yes, we finally landed in Frankfurt, and the most unexpected happened again. Um, our flight that was supposed to take us from Frankfurt, which is Germany, to USA was gone. So there was no connecting flight again.
Let's go.
So once again, we have to spend the night in the hotel in Germany.
Come on, let's go. Let's go.
So this is us now heading outside the hotel in a hurry so that we can be able to catch the bus that will take us to our hotel. So guys, this is us now walking and looking for our bus because we're not really familiar with the area. So we are just, and this guy too is one of the passengers that we travel together. So this is us
Do you know
coming
where you
inside
are?
our
Where?
bus and we are heading now to the hotel. You can see that is Germany. That is Germany. So yes, we are back to yet another hotel room, but this time in Germany. And as usual, I am giving you a tour of how the hotel room looks like. And this one was the best among the two hotels that I've launched in so far. The one in Brussels was okay, but this one was good because it had three beds, one for everybody. And yes, this is me just checking myself out. I was so tired, um, but I did not give up. And again, we did not have a change of clothes. I washed the dresses that we had on, ironed them in the morning, and put it back on before we finally went and took our next flight that was going to take us to US. So that is how this journey went on and on and on and on. So, and thank God we arrived safely. And although everybody had waited until we came back and there was no food in the house because they have kept preparing and preparing and preparing, waiting for us, and we were not still coming. So they decided the day that we were coming is the day they decided not to cook again. So now so hunger won't buy us, but we are okay. We arrived safely.